Rumplestiltskin. Once, there was a very poor miller who was blessed with a very beautiful daughter. One day, the miller went to visit the king to see if his daughter could become a servant at the palace. The king, however, had no interest in very poor millers or their daughters. Next. Desperate to avoid being thrown out the door, the miller burst forth with the first thing that came to his mind. "Did I mention my daughter can spin straw into gold?" Now, that caught the king's attention. "Straw into gold. Bring her to me." The next day, the miller dutifully brought his daughter to the king. He put her in a room full of straw and gave her a spinning wheel. "Now set to work, and if by tomorrow morning you have not spun this straw into gold, then you must die." The poor miller's daughter burst into tears. She had no idea how to spin straw into gold. She had no idea how to spin anything at all. All she was good at was being beautiful. Just then, the door opened, and in walked a strange little man.
"Good evening, Mistress Miller. Why are you crying so?"
The miller's daughter told him of her plight. Then the little man thought long and hard.
"What will you give me if I spin the straw into gold for you?"
My necklace?
Said the girl.
"Very well,"
Said the little man. He took the necklace, then sat down at the wheel and set to work, spinning on into the night. The next morning, the king entered the room and stared in amazement. Where once was a room full of straw, now was a room full of gold. Amazing. Astounding. How did you do it?
Well, it's a long story.
But the king wasn't interested in her story. The sight of all that gold had filled his heart with greed. He took the miller's daughter to another room filled with even more straw. He told her to spin that into gold too, or her life was over. Again she started crying. Again, the strange little man appeared.
"What will you give me if I spin the straw into gold for you?"
The ring on my finger?
So the little man took the ring and began spinning, and by the next morning, the room was full of gold. But even that wasn't enough for the king. He took the miller's daughter to an even bigger room full of straw. "If you can spin all this into gold, then you shall become my wife." Guess what happened next? The little man appeared, but this time the miller's daughter said she had nothing left to give him.
"Then promise, when you are queen, you will give me your first child."
Knowing she had no choice, the miller's daughter agreed. And the next morning, the king saw the enormous room full of gold. He kept his word and made her his queen. A year later, the young queen had forgotten all about the queer little man. But as she nursed her new baby, the door opened.
"Guess who?"
Then she remembered her promise. The young queen was horrified. She offered him all the riches she possessed, anything to let her keep her baby. Seeing her tears, the little man was moved.
"I will give you 3 days to find out my name. If you do, you may keep the child."
On the first day, the queen sent messengers far and wide to find every name in the kingdom.
Is it Caspar? Melchior? Lionel?
But the little man just shook his head.
"No, that's not my name."
On the second day, the queen's messengers brought names from far-off lands.
Is it short ribs? Big britches? Or a cupcake?
The little man's answer was always the same.
"No, that's not my name."
Then, on the third day, as the queen was about to lose hope, a messenger returned with a strange tale. Deep in the mountains, he spied a strange little man who leapt around his fire chanting,
"Today I brew, tomorrow bake, then the queen's own child I take. This guessing game she'll never win, for my name is Rumplestiltskin."
That night, when the little man came, the queen was waiting.
"A promise is a promise. My name or your child?"
Could it be Simon?
"Scarcely."
Harry?
"Hardly."
Tarquin?
"Not in a month of Sundays."
The little man clapped his hands in glee.
"I have won! The child is mine!"
But the queen just smiled.
One more guess. Could it be, Rumplestiltskin?
At the sound of his name, the little man let out a wail. He ran off into the night and was never seen again.